Good morning, welcome back to my office. It's a very grey and dreary Lincolnshire this morning. It's Monday morning and I've got lots to do. I had a busy weekend. The last video I did was Saturday morning and I was procrastinating about sorting my office out. Wow. Update. I did quite a lot, then I got totally overwhelmed. And then Darren came in like a whirlwind and helped me sort out my office. So I'm going to give you a little office tour. Look at this. Look at all this space. Wow, look at it. So this is all orders going out this morning that I need to pack. This is a pile to work on. This has all been done. Hang on, let me move that because that doesn't need to be there. That's upsetting my aesthetics. Here we go, that's better. So this is all stock on my website. They're my pile of books that I use for reference and such like. Yeah, that's my little cabinet that I'm working on. And then you'll see my little shelves filling up nicely. I think I showed you this in my last video. But yeah, I'm pleased with this. This whole area is looking so much better. And then this, look how tidy my desk is. I got rid of loads of stuff off there, but I also took out all my makeup and my hairdryer and all that sort of stuff, and the big mirror that was on here. I've taken that all upstairs to the bedroom. So this is a dedicated sort of working crafting area. It just opens up my desk and makes it so I've got a lot more space. So I'm really chuffed with that. I know this still looks a mess, but this is all stock to work on. We've ordered some shelves. So shelves to go in here, which will give me space to store stock that I'm working on. That's just some packaging. And as I say, there's wax melts and jewellery and stuff in there. Yeah, really chuffed. It's so tidy, but also what you can't see is in these drawers, I've got some of my craft stuff, and I can actually see what I've got, rather than I had it all rammed into those 2 Kallax units at the bottom there, and I couldn't get to it because it was just jam-packed full. So now I can open up this drawer and go, oh, my paints are there. Paintbrushes and palettes. And that's that bag of pens that I use quite regularly. So yeah, really pleased with that. And as a bonus to all of that, I found these glasses, which have been missing for, well, probably since we moved. These were the ones that were gifted to me by Zimph. I did a video. I got a couple of pairs of glasses and I've still got the other pair. I use them upstairs in my bedroom when I'm at night when I'm reading. But I really like these and I just couldn't find them anywhere. And I found them in amongst all the stuff. So really chuffed, gained a pair of glasses. And I thought that the prescription would be wrong, but it actually feels really good. So absolutely over the moon with my room. We also did quite a lot of sorting out in back areas where we keep backup stock for the booths. We're on it, we're getting on it. And we've ordered a shoe rack to go in my cupboard under the stairs. So Darren said when that comes, which is probably going to be in the next couple of days, we're going to tackle that cupboard under the stairs. And I'm like, I'm all out of sorting out energy at the moment. So the thought of going in that cupboard and sorting through all my shoes and coats and bags and scarves and whatever else is in there, it's not the most exciting prospect because this was a big job. It doesn't look like a lot, but it was a lot. Okay, right. I better pack some orders. Do you want to see what's going out? I just realised I didn't introduce myself to people that are new around here. My name's Kirsten. I buy and sell vintage, collectibles, secondhand, anything that I think I can sell online, on eBay, on my website, or in antique centres. And I do gentle vlogs about working from home as a middle-aged lady, what we get up to, bits of gardening and the dogs, and showing you the bits and bobs that I pick up to sell. So if that interests you, please do subscribe, and leaving me a thumbs up and a comment really does help. If you can't think of anything to say, emojis works. Oh, and if you hit the notification bell, you might actually get a notification from YouTube. Who knows? I don't know if that works. So this is a mixture of eBay and website orders. So while I remember, I'll say some thank yous. Thank you to Helen, Rachel, Deborah and Jane for ordering on my website. So we've sold the little music box and the Paddington tin and some jugs, more jugs, and those beautiful bowls. They've all gone on my website. Oh, and this gorgeous little plate as well. So those are all website sales. And then eBay, I've sold some of the M&S autumn leaves stuff that I bought from Car Boot recently. Dinner plates. Oh gosh, they're going to be a thing to sell. And these are going together, some bowls. So that's off. This picture, I did have that on my website for a while, but that's gone on eBay. Some army gaiters and some trainers and some gloves, some tape, one of the folio books, a roll mat, and these, I won't unwrap them, so I'll put a picture up. These are the Bordello Pinheiro fruit. I think these were peaches, but they might have been something else. I can't remember now. And a lovely book about the nuclear power decisions. Can you hear Benji snoring? He's under there. He's that lump underneath the blanket. Darren's working on the prints that we picked up at the weekend. Sometimes they need like a little bit of work, so he does that. And it's a rainy old day, but I tell you what, some of the flowers have come out and they're so bright. I took some photos. So obviously the calendula is incredible, but underneath that fruit tree there, they're all closed at the moment, and I've forgotten what they're called, some sort of daisies. They are so bright at the moment, incredible. What else has come out? Oh yeah, the nasturtiums are incredible. The Californian poppies, so bright orange. You can just make them out over there. Maybe you can't see them from here. And then my big poppies are just about to open. You can see the pink, but they've not opened yet. So yeah, they'll be any time. My rose is looking beautiful. That rose bush over there is absolutely covered in roses and smells amazing. I got my first sweet pea flower. I mean, they're not very tall. They're not even halfway up the trellis yet, which is a real shame, because last year I was picking flowers by now over nearly every day, but nothing so far. But I have got my first flower, so it's exciting stuff. Hello, Edward. What are you doing? You waiting for Dad? He's gone upstairs. Oh, hello. He's gone upstairs, hasn't he? Look at that snoot. Parcels are all packed, ready to go. I'm going to have a spot of lunch before I take the parcels and do a bit of work at my computer while I eat. It's probably not a good thing to do, is it? But I'm doing it anyway. Bit of pasta, warmed up from last night. Love leftovers. Lunch has been had a nice little yoghurt afterwards. I think it's stopped raining. Unfortunately, one more order's come through, so I'm going to have to pack that before I go. But I thought I'd quickly show you the bits that I've picked out for my website this week. And then I'm going to take the parcels and head to Skegness. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Are you ready? I have got this cute little tin with birds on it. It's got all different birds all the way around. I mean, that'd be cool to keep your bird seed in. Blackbird, missel thrush. We don't have any thrushes in our garden. Great tits we do. I've seen a woodpecker, I've seen a robin, seen a goldfinch. So yeah, all of those except for this thrush. £6, that one. That's Bristow's in. So that one's 6. This is a nice find. This one here, gorgeous little mouse reading a book. Now, it feels like a bronze, but I know that sometimes bronzed items can feel like that. They have like a way of putting it onto resin and making it, but it very much feels like a bronze. And I have seen one of these sell at auction for £70. So I'm going to put this on my website for 35. Really, really gorgeous little thing. That's that. Next up, I've got this little picture, excellent for a little gallery wall. It's just a repro thing, but it's really nice. The picture's called Girl with a Cat, so I'm assuming the cat is somewhere off off screen, if you know what I mean. That's the back. But yeah, if you've got a gallery wall, that's an excellent addition. So that one's 8. And then I have this lovely antique ebony mirror with the sort of beveled edge there. Really, really nice. A smallish one. You could even fit it in your handbag. It's got printed there. I'm just going to do that so it's not glaring off the camera. It does printed there, says ebony. Really, really nice. So that one is £8. And then I have a couple of these Russian lacquered boxes. So they're both similar size. One's portrait, one's landscape, both with the red on the inside like that. They've both got almost like a transfer picture on the top. So they're not hand painted pictures and then hand painted gold detail around the edge and around the sides. So they're both similar in that way. And those are £15 each. Then I've got this funky little weather forecaster. It's a bit of a gimmick. It's not an old thing. It's the sort of thing you'd get in past times or something like that. But it's a cute, cool little gift if you want to give somebody who's into weather. I have no idea how it works. There is a little leaflet there with it, but I haven't got the time or the inclination to work out how that works. That is £8. This, oh, love it. Gorgeous mid-century little figures. I'm assuming like an Easter decoration, but you could have it up all year round. Little rabbit on his cart with a duck pulling him along. It's made by a Spanish firm. I can't remember what they were called, but I will put it in the listing. Yeah, really, really gorgeous, that one. That is £8. Then I've got this cute little hedgehog studio pottery. There is a sticker on there, but it's sort of worn off. Can you see? I can see it says pottery there. But anyway, that's just £1 if you want. It has a very cute face. Sorry, let me show you his face because it's very cute. That's £1. And then I've got these set of 4 little African figures. So there's this one. Somebody's going to tell me they're not African, but let's hope they are. An elephant. It's only got 1 tusk. A rhino. And what's that? Is that like a boar? I don't know. Anyway, I'm doing the 4 of those together for £4. And that's everything today. Loaded up. Loads of parcels to drop off. So I'm going to do that first. And then I'm going to head to the big Tesco's in Skeg because it's Darren's birthday in the next couple of days. And he doesn't have any requests. He doesn't want to go out anywhere, doesn't want to do anything, but he would like lasagna and a bird's trifle. So I need to get some ingredients in. And I did have an idea of a present for him that I think they might sell, so I'm going to have a look. I've arrived at the big Tesco's. It's raining, so I'm not in a rush to get out of my car. I can't remember if I have ever said, I'm sure I probably have, but I worked at this shop when it very first opened. So it was before we moved to Devon. My husband had sold his garden business, and so I got a job working at a brand new superstore. It was going to be 24 hours. I don't know if it still is. Yeah, it was an interesting experience, but not one that I would repeat. I find those places really overwhelming. I don't know about you. It's just the amount of noise, people, everybody coming at you in different directions. And one, they didn't have what I wanted to get. Two, I realised I hadn't got a club card with me, which means you're just paying over the odds for stuff, doesn't it? In the end, I just went to I messaged Darren and said, can you send me a screenshot of, because he's got a club card, of the QR code from the club card. And but he didn't see it for ages. So I'd gone round the Tesco's twice, and by then I thought, oh, I was just gonna have to go to the till. I went to the till and I just said to the lady behind me, you got a club card? Can I use your club card? So she said, yeah, that's fine. So I used some random woman's club card. That'll upset their algorithms, won't it? Good morning, welcome back. I got stuck into work when I got home, and then I just totally forgot that I'd started a vlog. It was gone. The sun is shining today, this morning, but the forecast is for rain all day, as is, I think, the rest of the week. It's like rain all day, dry all night, rain all day, dry all night, which is not ideal, is it? That's not what we want. So I've been out this morning and had a look at the flowers, and the big poppies have started opening up. Oh, they're so beautiful. There's some slightly smaller ones, but then the really big ones have started to open up. I just hope that the rain isn't too heavy and knocks them all over, because that would be such a shame. And then one thing that I really regret is when I was weeding earlier on in the season, I pulled out, there was this big ugly looking thing growing. There was 2 or 3 of them, I can't remember. Anyway, I pulled 1 or 2 of them up and then realised that I'd planted them, because you could tell by the compost that was in the roots. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't have pulled that up. So I left one of them, but it was like really ugly looking. I thought, this is like, what is this? Anyway, it's come out into bloom, like these big white flowers. I think it's like a campanula or something, but I'm like so disappointed in myself that I pulled them up, because I keep saying to Darren, be careful when you weed, because I've planted so many things. And there must have been ones that I planted last year that didn't do anything, and then this year they've come out. So yeah, the border's looking lovely. It's just a shame we can't get to enjoy it if it's going to be raining all the time. And it's quite windy this morning, so I can't really video out there. But I've got stuff that I still need to plant. I've got some Alison that I wanted to just pop in between where the lavenders haven't grown as big as others. I wanted to pop some Alison in the gaps. I've got a tray of that really needs to go out. And then I've got some helichrysum. I think it's like the straw flower things. I think they possibly could go out, although they're very small. And my dahlias, I did plant 3 out in the kitchen garden near the rhubarb, where there was a bit of a gap, and I'd sprinkled seeds recently. Nothing seemed to grow. Then all of a sudden things have started to pop up. So I put a few of the dahlias in between where there was some gaps. So I'm hoping that they will come on. But as I planted them, I realised that they really didn't have a lot of root system. So maybe it was a bit early. So I'm bringing those on a bit more before I plant them out. But yeah, I just want to be in the garden. But I have got a lot to do. I want to try and get through some of these crates of stock and boxes of stock before the shelves come, so that there's less manoeuvring. We'll see. It's all bits, because you pick out the best bits and then you end up with the bits, don't you? Anyway, less jabbering and more working. I know I said I was going to work and stop jabbering, but I thought of something else. If you saw my short TikTok, whatever, on that last week? When did we go? What did we get? Oh no, hang on. Oh yeah, on Sunday's car boot, we bought a really lovely primula. It looks fantastic. It's got like this really long stem and then a sort of spire, purple and pinky red. So I planted that out in Darren's woodland bit, and then I've been looking for the scabious and I found one of those. Planted that out in the main border, and then a GM, a red, orangey red sort of GM, which I sort of made some space for in the main border, sort of near the hardy geraniums, where I feel like the hardy geraniums and the perennial cornflowers are all going to die down, and hopefully I need to try and I've added that there, and hoping that I can find other things that I can plant in between to give it a more colour all the way through. It looks beautiful at the moment, but we'll see in a few weeks' time what it looks like. So we've been in this house nearly 2 years. It was July we moved in 2 years ago. Absolutely love it. There's not much I would change. There, you know, if you could magically just go and things would change, I'd make it slightly less windy in the garden. I'd maybe have an extra bedroom. It's a 3-bedroom, and because we've got 3 children, when they all come to stay, it's a little bit enk, as we say. Enk is a German word, and there isn't exactly the same word in English, so I use that word. It just means cramped, I guess, or tight, or small, whatever. Anyway, enk, I like it. Yeah, there's very little that I would change about this garden. I absolutely love the garden, love the house, love the light that this house gives us. When we lived above the shop in Devon, it was quite a dark house. Well, no, it wasn't too bad, but it felt darker than this. This is so light, and because we've got the garden, it feels like you can breathe, you know? And we see so much wildlife. Now, I'm not saying there isn't wildlife in Devon, there is, but when you live in the middle of a town and you live above a shop and you have no garden, and behind you is roads and car parks and stuff, you don't see a lot on a day-to-day. Here, because we've got views over the fields, from upstairs, if you look out 1-bedroom window, you can see over the field that way. If you look out of that window, you can look out the fields that way. And then obviously over the back of the house through the conservatory, you can see out the fields that way. So obviously we get the cows, hundreds of rabbits, pheasants, ducks. Now we've got the peacocks next door. Deer we see, lots of birds of prey, which I need to work on identifying because I really don't know. We saw a fox the other morning in the field, and then the other evening Darren saw something run through the garden and over the fence, and didn't get a really clear look at it, but he thinks it was a weasel. It had a fluffy tail, and the way it sort of jumped like that, he thinks it was a weasel. So that's a new one. And I know it sounds silly, but the other week I'd seen a poo in the garden. It wasn't one of the dog's poos, and it wasn't one of the bird poos. It was a different kind of poo, and I was like, what's that? So I picked it up, cleaned it up, and I thought it might be fox poo. And then Darren saw one similar, but now we think it was weasel poo. So we'll have to get a book on identifying poo, especially for our garden. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I love all the birds. We get so many different birds. I just love living here. But saying that, the other morning we were watching Wandering Turnip. Do you watch Wandering Turnip on YouTube? It's a really good channel. He did do a lot about going around cities and looking at cities, and he has an obsession with like old architecture, like chimneys and things. But he's a really good maker of videos. Anyway, he's went to this home, this off-grid home, and it was amazing. It was down in Dorset. They ran an aquatic nursery from their property, so they had all these outbuildings and land as well, and 2 big lakes. But the actual house itself was a timber-based house, but it was so quirky and everything was just reclaimed and just really interesting. Oh, I just absolutely loved it. And it was all off-grid, so solar panels and that for energy, and then the water they collected from the rainwater, and just amazing, amazing. So yeah, I think I could be persuaded to swap. It's sort of my dream to be off-grid, but the technicalities of it, maybe not. And then straight after we'd watched the video by Wandering Turnip, we put on the Little Chapel Whitchurch, which is Victoria and James. They have a little antique shop, vintage antique shop. And I love that channel. But every time I watch it, it makes me want my shop back. I go, oh, I miss my shop, or I would like another shop. Darren's like, we're not having another shop. We've done shops. We've done shops forever, our whole lives. We're not doing shops anymore. But yeah, I just miss it a little bit. But not when I can spend every sunny day in the garden. I don't miss my shop then. Right, you're distracting me now. I need to get on with some work. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my rambling on. But if you could, leave me a thumbs up and a comment. Even if you can't think of anything to say, leave me a flower emoji or a dog emoji. Hype, if you could, that'd be great. Remember to hit the notification bell so YouTube doesn't let you down and stop showing you my videos. And Darren is working on another vlog, be out soon. I hope you've got a bit of sunshine in between the showers. Enjoy, take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon.